Welcome back to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. I am your host, Richie, coming at you from St. Cloud, Florida, with my man, Mr. Idris Salam, Window 2, a.k.a. Bosco from the Bronx.
Yo.
Window 3, we got my man, Mike Zappi, out in San Antonio, Texas. It looks like he is more than ready for that NFL schedule release. Going to be hitting on some leaks. But before we do that, oh my God. How about our New York Knicks?
Go New York, go New York, go.
I'm happy, bro. To say I'm happy is an understatement. I'm relieved. I'm also relieved because I know that we are a better team than the Indiana Pacers. Jalen Brunson put this team on his shoulders in a way that quite possibly I haven't seen in my years of being a Knicks fan, and we've had some phenomenal players. Nikola Jokic and crew show why they deserve to be the big dog still. We're going to hit on that as well. NFL schedule release leaks, predominantly week 1. We got some juicy matchups around the NFL. The NFL always knows how to do it right when it comes to marketing their brand. And they're going to be going overseas. They're going to be going to Brazil. We're going to hit on that. And Zappy has a pretty cool idea that's going to pit me and Idris against each other while also working together because it has something that we both are commonly very passionate about. Enjoy this intro, and we will be right back. And I'm going to get something to drink because I am parched from screaming at the TV. My God. All right. We are back. Fellas, I'm going to start with the person that's not emotionally attached to the situation, Mike Zappi. Jalen Brunson, this performance tonight, in my opinion, one for the ages, and I'm not going to sit here and lie to anybody. I reluctantly picked my favorite NBA team to win 111-109. It was a 2-point spread, widely across the board. I know my team is better than the Pacers, but do I think we were healthy enough? After the Mother's Day massacre, do I think we were healthy enough? No. I logically explained the rest minutes versus why and why not, and whether right or wrong, Tom Thibodeau would pay the ultimate price if the Knicks do not win this series. I think these guys took it personal. Hearing about tougher days of the NBA, nobody wants to hear shit about, being overworked, so to speak. And but Jalen Brunson, it starts and ends with him. It has literally, going back to last year when he joined this organization and redefined who he is and his position in this league as the best value deal in all of the NBA. Mike Zappi, go ahead, bud.
I mean, first of all, I'll start off with hands off to Thibodeau and the lineup changes he made by bringing McBride into the lineup and going with a smaller lineup, and it clearly worked. I mean, I thought going into this game, Jalen Brunson was going to answer the call and show up and perform at a high level, which he has done yet again. But hands down to two certain players, DiVincenzo, not so much for the scoring purposes, but for him to stand up tall to Miles Turner and to say, I'm not going to say the words he said, but it was pretty clear what he said, and stand up and show like, hey, you guys did beat us, but we're not going to bend down. And got to remember, this is also a team doing it without OG, and that was the biggest question I had about this team going forward, how they would be able to do it with depth. But I am so happy to see that New York's, and not just New York, but Jalen Brunson answered the call. I mean, we're talking about a guy that has not only became the Knicks all-time playoff scoring leader in a single game, we're talking about the guy that almost broke his own record today, had 28 points at the half, and I called you and I said, hey, Richie, letting you know what's going on. But I got to say this, when it was 70-63, a minute before that, it was 70-54.
Bro, I literally walked into my house. I was listening to the game in the car, in the truck.
Yeah.
Walk in the house. I thought you were trolling me, bro. I didn't even think that was real. That couldn't have happened in the time that I grabbed my stuff and walked it into my. There's no way.
Yeah. And how surreal that was, because it was just like, holy crap. Like, Richie and I are having a good conversation, and then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, dude, Pacers just made 3 threes in a row. I'm going to let you go so you get focused on this game. Yeah. And I felt like as soon as we hung up, along with other things, but it's like, all right, here we go. And then you guys went on a 15-0 run, and it just was like,
never looked back.
Never looked back.
Yeah, we brought it up to our biggest run of the game was actually 17 consecutive points. Mm-hmm. The Pacers won, I believe it was about 7.5 minutes without scoring a basket, which in today's NBA, no matter how good the defense is friggin' unheard of.
And it's critical too, because it's not like, the Pacers lost by 14 points. That 7.5 minutes was hands down to the amount of pressure that Tom Thibodeau and that defense was pushing. They were running up and down the court. It was press man, let's go, let's really punch him in the throat now. Mm-hmm. Winning 121-91 is, it's not just impressive. It's impressive how you did it when you think about that third quarter, when we're talking about the Indiana Pacers, who were the highest scoring team in the Eastern Conference, and to be able to shut them down the way they did. I mean, it was a great answer after what we saw in Game 4. We saw the horrific shooting that we saw from pretty much every player. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, to answer the call that way and to have a critical response to 3 threes in a row, that game could have easily gone south. But if you call the timeout, you regroup, and then all of a sudden the lead came back up, and it's just like, all right, cool. They're good now.
Idris, man. Jalen Brunson's performance after the Mother's Day massacre, after getting our hearts broken in Game 3 in a game that I think most people feel we should have won. Mm-hmm. Did you foresee this going as dominant as it did outside of the first 6 minutes, where the Knicks looked like they might have had a flat carryover from games 3 and 4, mainly Game 4?
Not at all. I thought Brunson would get 28, maybe 30, but I didn't see 44 points. 44 points, 40 rebounds, 7 assists. I didn't see that. I didn't see that coming. I figured guys like Alec Burks would step up. The big Ragu, he didn't have a great scoring game, but hey, he did what he had to do. I figured Hart would show up. But Brunson does what he does, man. It's just like, we gotta win. I mean, I don't know how the season's going to end. If we're going to make this run the rest of the way, I don't know. But that guy, he carried the team. That's he carried the Knicks, man. Without him, we're not. Like no, he might be a lottery team, man.
I have no words, because when I look at Anunoby, and I said it on yesterday's show, 90% winning percentage, just about, when he's in the lineup, when he's in the rotation, when he's playing. Without him, we're about 3 or 4 under 500. Mm-hmm. Bogdanovic, a nice pickup, a wily veteran who is a smooth shooter and can come off the bench, give you instant offense. Mm-hmm. And also, for a not huge guy, could play with his back to the basket.
Yeah.
We all know what Mitchell Robinson brings on defense. Offensively, he's awkward. It's a bit of a shit show on offense. Defensively, you know what he brings, and he is missed. His intensity is missed. Julius Randle, prior to Jalen Brunson's arrival, was the best player on the New York Knicks. Mm-hmm. Tom Thibodeau, man, I'll tell you, when in the waning minutes, I like that he took out his ball players to get that ovation that they so richly deserved.
Yeah.
But I really thought, because of all the media, and I even called him out, all of us on some level have said, Jesus, can you give these guys a little bit of a break?
Right.
I thought he was going to leave them in just to be like, yeah, just to
we're up by 30. Sit them down. They don't need.
No, but I'll tell you what, man.
1 point. We just got to win by 1 point.
They're similar to how people say that there's Derek Jeter has said that there's ghosts in Yankee Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
That also carries over at the Mecca, because I'm not shocked that we won. I honestly approached this game as a 50-50, and I was cautiously optimistic. But there's something about just what they can bring in terms of fortitude, our fan base.
Mm-hmm.
These kind of situations. I've been a Knicks fan for a very long time.
You're not shocked they won. You're shocked how they won.
I'm shocked how they won because of what just went down. I'll be honest with you boys. On Mother's Day,
but that game was over in the first.
It was more than losing the game. I thought this team was dead to rights. I'm not going to come out here and not put on a little bit of a homer hat as I get accused of, oh man, you're such a homer. Bruins won, by the way, bro. Yeah, Bruins won. I've been picking that. Yeah, because I want them to win. Because they're not as good as the team that should beat them, which is the Panthers. That's why. There's one particular fan that I'm calling out here that has a propensity for only jumping on my shit when a New York team goes through something.
Do I know who he is?
It don't matter who he is. The point I'm making is it's that syndrome that they got over there.
Yeah.
Because, they're the city of champions. I'm sorry, Zach. Last little part of this rant. Because apparently that particular city, which I'm not going to name drop, is the city of champions. Because for 120 combined years between the Boston Red Sox and the fucking New England Patriots, that didn't happen. The only thing that ever happened in Boston was 20 years of greatness. All that other shit never mattered, apparently.
Yeah.
But they're gonna claim the past when it comes to those Celtic championships, right? In a league that was barely integrated.
Here's a tidbit for you guys about them Celtics. They used to play in New York. Look it up. They were once called the New York Celtics. They moved to Boston.
I never heard that before.
Yes.
I never heard that either.
Yes.
So either he just dropped the jewel of life.
Celtics, originally in New York.
That edible is kicking in. Either way, I gotta look this up.
It is, man.
I'm excited. Now I gotta find this out. I know that the Yankees played in Baltimore. We know that. I know that Boston actually did have the Redskins, believe it or not.
Redskins,
A lot of people don't remember that or even know about that. Madden facts. That's how I found that out. Getting back center here. Oh my God. All I'm gonna say is I've seen a lot of inspirational New York Knicks wins over the years. The 8-seeded team.
Wait. You can't see it. You can't see it, but the original Celtics, with a Boston professional basketball team. Yep, they were the original.
I do know that the New York Knicks actually did win the very first NBA game against a Canadian team, oddly enough.
Yep.
Yes, sir. And if we would have got Dolph Shays as opposed to him going to the opposite league, history may have been different. That's a whole other conversation for another day. Before we move it along to the defending world champions and why they deserve all the praise, I've been a Knicks fan since forever. This particular Knicks team is not necessarily the most talented Knicks team, not the deepest. Come on, they're not even in the realm of being the deepest Knicks team. Zappy said it best. I'm going to give him the credit on this. We talked about it over the course of the last couple of days. Mm-hmm. What makes the NBA fans love this Knicks team? I'm not talking about just Knicks fans. People that maybe don't have a dog in the race and want to pick a team. What makes NBA fans love this team is that they are the quintessential definition of what a team is. When you have three dudes that literally are brothers in the form of Dante DiVincenzo, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, they've become quite a very likable team, where in previous years, Knicks teams, if you're not from the big city, like this has been coined phrase, Knicks versus Hicks, the Knicks aren't getting that national love like that. No, sir. This is a different era in Knicks basketball. I'm happy for Tom Thibodeau, too, because while I don't always agree with his coaching procedures and the way that he pushes his men, one thing that I am very proud of is that he doesn't change for anyone, and that's part of believing in who you are and having an identity. We all know about the Derrick Rose, Carlos Boozer, Joakim Noah situations where all those guys left the game prior to their time or left their prime prior to their time, and that is the side effect of some of this shit. But like, you know, you take that great quote that Josh Hart said, and Kyrie backed it up by emphasizing it even further. You got people working 12, 13, 15-hour days. Those people are tired. We're playing a great game. We're playing a fun game. You know, so shout out to Josh Hart for just being that humble of a superstar, something that we just don't see that very often.
Right.
And shout out to Rick Carlisle after crying and crying and crying. Listen, Rick Carlisle's a damn good coach, but my God.
NBA champion.
Absolutely. But seeing him in that mode of just pure frustration, I'm like, dude, if we won by 6 or we won by 4, you could play that whole, we got some. Yes, we got some calls tonight. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Yeah, we got some calls.
Absolutely, and I'll take it. But when you whip up on somebody by 30, I don't want to hear a damn thing about no referees tonight. No, sir.
And what I'm going to add to that is, as we're about to transition over to the Nuggets, I think it's very important to note that tonight's winners have been more impressive on the court than tomorrow night's matchups. And when I say that, you look at Boston being able to defeat Cleveland in Cleveland yesterday without Donovan Mitchell and only win by 7. I still am not sold on Jason Tatum, which brings me back to a guy like Jalen Brunson, who has the killer instinct in him.
But it's in the bag. They're unbeatable. It's in the bag. That's why they have a 500 record at home in the playoffs.
I look at the matchups, and right now I want to see the Knicks versus Nuggets over the Celtics versus Nuggets, and that's just being real.
I just hope the Cleveland Cavaliers win 3 in a row because it's impossible. We can't beat the Celtics because the Celtics have a real championship pedigree because they have won with Jason Tatum, right? Yeah, that happened. They haven't squandered an opportunity to an 8 seed. That not the mighty Celtics. They didn't shit the bed against the Golden State Warriors. They didn't squander a chance at a dynasty and not talk to Jesus Shuttlesworth for 15 years because apparently he was that damn important. And Paul Pierce over here running his jibs about my team. Paul Pierce, sit down, bro. Sit down.
You know what?
Pierce wasn't even the best player on those teams. You know what? Big mouth.
I like Paul Pierce a little bit.
Says, but Benzino told the truth about that. Sorry, you just go.
No, you good. I mean, I want to like Paul Pierce, but the way I look at it, dude, you were with Boston and never won shit.
They didn't win shit until they brought in Jesus Shuttlesworth and they brought in the big ticket. And they brought in Big Baby and they had Scal. They had a nice squad.
Yeah.
That's always I'm not even going to get into Mr. LeBron. All right, boys.
Oh, you should.
Hey, but anyways, what I'm trying to say is I think tonight's winners, Richie, you're talking about it. I think the Nuggets-Knicks is the NBA Finals matchup. That's just from what I'm seeing. I'm more impressed with Jalen over Jason Tatum. People want to put Jason Tatum as a superstar level. I don't think he's a star.
He doesn't show up at good time. I mean,
yeah, and Jalen right now has the opportunity to take on that next step.
As Zappy speaks, I'm going through my brain and I'm just like think about a potential. Like, what does it even feel like? I've been to Yankee parades. I've seen the Giants win. I've literally been to Yankee parades where I was fortunate enough to be in front of Joe DiMaggio addressing the crowd. That was cool.
Yeah.
As a young dude, I was pissed at my late father for not taking me to the ticker tape parade for the Rangers, even though he was on a float with them.
That's why.
Yeah, he did me dirty on that one. He ain't here to defend himself, so I got to let that ride. But no. But what I'm getting at is like, I know Stephen A's extra. I get it, and I know that sometimes he has become a whole nother entity of a whole nother personality. But let me speak for Stephen A and so many other Knicks fans that are in a certain age bracket that never got to see them win a championship. There is nothing fake or nothing extra about when Stephen A. Smith says how he would react if this shit truly comes to fruition. This team teased it in the mid-90s up until the early 2000s. This team teased it in the 2010s with Melo, the one year that Melo got close. But unfortunately, against these Indiana Pacers, Melo had a bad shoulder injury. And I've said on previous shows, the best version of Melo was always when he had that prime facilitator. In this case, it was Jason Kidd. They tried to basically recreate what the Mavericks did to Miami. And once again, Miami was the big dog that year. Getting off track. All I want to say is to say how I'm proud of this Knicks team would not even moderately do it justice. I've been proud of a lot of Knicks teams. I've seen Knicks teams come from behind, beat 1 seeds. I've seen Knicks teams take some of the greatest Bulls teams the distance. Just we know about 94. Oh, God, I don't even want to talk about it. But the thing is like this particular Knicks team, to Zappy's point, there is something that feels a little different. And I think the reason why it's easier for Zappy to identify is because he's not emotionally attached. I know he's a sports fan. I know he thinks it would be pretty amazing. But I don't know, man. The way Zappy like spoke it yesterday, he's like, you guys are playing possum. They're going to blow tonight. And he was 100% right. I got to say that, Zap.
You know, yeah, I'm not going to say much on it. I was, 7 years old when the Knicks won, 8 years old when they won, the last championship. I remember the championship, but I don't remember nothing about the game. I remember, the only thing I really remember was I remember Willis Reed coming down the walkway. I remember that because I showed it 1,000 times, but I remember that stuff. But if you ask me what happened in the game, I'm like, I just know we were playing the Lakers. I don't remember it. So they got to win so I can actually say, I saw them win. I've seen all my teams win a championship. I've seen all the New York teams win a championship in my lifetime.
And I'll tell you,
we were just talking about that last night in regards to Eagles fans or just a lot of fan bases. And where I was like, Richie, as crazy as it sounds, where I talk about Cowboys, and you mentioned how where was the Red Sox for that long drought? Where were these other teams?
I want to make one thing clear. I'm not interrupting you. I'm just piggybacking you quickly. There's one particular fan that every time I post some shit, always has carte blanche liberties that he thinks he's just going to come on in here and be a clown. I'm like, damn, dog.
I can see what it is.
There's a Facebook guy. He ain't somebody that I know in person.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson had a cool quote. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. And I don't have no bad for him. All I'm trying to say is that region, that particular fan base, yes, I'm going in, and I don't care who gets mad. They have an inferiority complex to New York. Take it as you will. They don't ever want to own that because no New York fan is ever as invested in Boston failures the same way that Boston is invested in New York failures. That's all you need to know.
Yep. Amen.
Said what I had to say. Said what I had to say.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's how I be feeling without that certain giant fan. The midget.
The midget of the G-Man. Whoa! You know how Q got the mask? Q got the mask. You got Mr. Beardo. You got Mr. LPG. You got the touchdown maker.
They call us the midgets, right? We got our mascot, the midget. We got a mascot. We got one now.
Yeah, we're getting toxic tonight. I like it. All right, Mr. Zappy, I'm sorry, bro. I go one off. It's just I had this embedded in my brain for a couple of days, and I keep it cool when people get done because whether you're cussing me out, whether you're hating on our stuff, whether you're liking it, you're still watching it. So I'll take it as it will. Go ahead, Zap. I'm sorry, bro.
I actually forgot.
Oh,
let's transition.
Yeah, please. Why I friggin' blow up here. Nuggets prove the NBA world that they are still the big dogs. Beat up the Wolves inside the paint, and Jokic has his way with defensive specialist Rudy Gobert, the brand new daddy. Okay. Short and sweet.
You just had to throw that in there, didn't you? The brand new daddy. Yeah, you had to put that part. And Jokic just showed him who his daddy was.
We call that a segue, kids. I really like well, really like, I love what I've seen from the Denver Nuggets because they are showing that championship pedigree. When you lose 2 games at home, and not just lose, but really just completely get your eternal clock just whacked out, and you lose every strand of what you guys do offensively. And, we all know Anthony Edwards is a phenomenal young basketball player. He's already drawing certain comparisons in his game to the great Michael Jordan. Guys like Kobe, those kind of game records, Dwayne Wade, the best shooting guards to do it. That caliber of player, caliber of scorer. And the praise is all due, but I must say tonight he came up very small. And the Denver Nuggets, not only do I think they're going to win the series now, I don't think that Minnesota's making it back to Denver.
I don't either.
No, they have the championship pedigree, and I think a lot of it was an overreaction to seeing them down 0-2, but we've seen it time and time again over the years in NBA basketball. We've seen champions, and I'm putting emphasis on the word champions, go down in the playoffs 0-2 in the series and still manage to come back and win the series. We've seen it time and time again. And I will say this much, my argument for Jokic, what did I say? If he wheels this team back, which I thought he was going to do, 40 points and still gets 13 assists tonight, that's incredible. This guy has more than shown why he is the MVP. He's done it. And as far as Anthony Edwards goes, this kid's he's a great talent. But let's pump the brakes on the comparisons just a little bit.
I always get uncomfortable when they find it too easy to do that. Like we talked about it with Micah, bro, and I have a lot of respect for Micah Parsons, a football player. But with the LT stuff, I remember when Khalil Mack was having a phenomenal start to his career. Bill Belichick shut that shit down real quick.
Yeah, if you look at the team, say that name. Yeah, if you look at the teams over the last, I don't know, let's say 10 years, 15 years. If you look at their organizations, the one that stayed, look, even with Miami, Pat Riley ran that team. Brian wasn't going to manipulate nothing. That's why he left. I just want to throw that shot in because
same reason Shaq didn't get along,
right?
Because Shaq wasn't used to that.
But see, Pat Riley had that system. This is the way we're going to do it. I'm the president. It's the way we're going to do it. 4 straight NBA championships. Look at Golden State. Well, you can go back to San Antonio, but look at Golden State. This is how we're going to run things. Bob Myers, great job. Now you look at Denver, how they're doing things. Same way. One voice, Experience will always beat the inexperience.
More times than not.
A couple of years ago, Memphis. But Golden State, look, we're the Warriors. Y'all forgot we're the Warriors. You see what they did to Memphis. Blah, blah. Same thing with Denver with Minnesota. That's a young, exciting team. Yeah. Better look at that D. Denver, we're the champions. And it shows. And the way Rudy Gobert, what he need to do right now, he need to take his ass to the police station and be like, look, I need y'all to come back because they hung me out to dry. My boys got my ass whooped tonight.
No, but he got humiliated, bro. I'm not trying to be extra. Yeah, he really did. Jokic, they said it on TNT. Jokic is so
much. He would be like, "Look here, man. My team just shit on me."
It's like it's almost like if
damn.
Okay, if you're getting your ass kicked in baseball, and you're like, "Bro, I'm sorry. It's not our night, but you're gonna have to eat some innings because we got to get through today." Or if you bring in your left fielder to go pitch or some shit, that's what happened to Rudy Gobert today. That shit, yeah. And Jokic, he doesn't. A lot of people question, does he love the game like that because he has so many other interests and he does view it as a job. But
he puts work in though.
They said it on TNT. He won't admit it, but that shit was personal today.
It was.
And you can say about both winners tonight, the Knicks and the Nuggets alike. Tonight was personal.
You can tell, man, because Minnesota beat them up in Denver twice, and they beat their asses. You know, they come to Minnesota.
Took them out of their game on every level.
And everybody said it's over. It's over. Jamal Murray, Jokic is not. Then they come to Minnesota. They win what by 6 points the first time. Then they come out there and just hammer them. And tonight they come back out. It was personal, and I don't know why. Minnesota said we gonna let Gobert. We gonna let him take one for the team. Cause they just like, are you frozen happy?
No, I'm listening.
Okay, it's like they just said it's not gonna last forever, man.
Man, I'm just happy. I'm just happy that I still got the same energy that I did a couple of hours ago. Because, bro, like,
yeah, me too.
I wasn't as hype when they actually won because it was a sense of relief. Anything short of an ECF this year would be unacceptable. Facts. Injuries are not unacceptable.
Yeah.
And last thing I'm going to say about that is, like, you know, I'm humble with just kind of going there, you know. I mean, the Celtics can't be beat. They're just too damn good.
Can't be beaten.
They can't. I mean, they got 17 rings. I mean, how many have we seen? I had baby teeth when Larry Bird was running around, and 09 and listen, this is not an assault on Boston, guys. There were some fans from that fan base, and in ours too. I'm not going to sit here and say that.
Yeah, but Boston.
I'm going to absolve some of our people when they're on some nonsense too. But what this one particular fan does that really gets onto me is that you could truly tell, the difference between the social media side of shit and the real life side of shit. That's all I'm going to say, because it's like one of those things when it's like, I'm like, man, was Homeboy really like running with the Patriots prior to 2000? I mean, I think he was. Yeah, I do. I think he's a legitimate Boston fan, but it's like always avoiding the heat when it's the other way around. When the Red Sox are shitty, there's like a lack of interest. Like, oh, ain't no big deal. Ain't no big deal. Ain't no big deal because you losing, bro. The thing that I love about the fans of this particular team, they don't waver. Say whatever you want about them. They don't waver. They just they
will
this
call
is not
our team trash and everything else. But
this is not a good. Loyal. This is not just a good times fan base. You can get on Yankee fans about that shit. You can get on Giant fans about that shit. We got half the fans in Giant Nation that want to fight with each other.
That's true.
You know, Ranger fans, Knicks fans, MSG caliber fans. They're a different breed.
Yeah,
they're a different breed.
Those who wear that blue and orange, blue and red. Yeah,
I'm so happy. NFL schedule.
Boston. You know what? You know what Boston fans are? They're the New York fans that couldn't get into the city. That's where I see Boston fans.
See, this is the thing. I don't want to pigeonhole a whole fan base. But what I am going to say is that the particular kind of fans that I'm talking about, this one dude exhibits that thoroughly.
Those are the type that I wish were living during that 100.
It's that snooty caca.
It's that 2,000 year high.
I'm like, bro, if y'all look at it. I'm like, bro, if y'all gonna be that snooty, you got to be at a certain place in socioeconomic status. And if that ain't the case, then I don't know what your deal is, dog.
I wish guys like that were vampires during the freaking drought of the Red Sox, so they could have seen all that shit. Because just when they get to the World Series, somebody stick a
but that's my big hypocrisy with that fan base. They'll be the first ones to scream on a Yankee fan about the 27-8 disparity.
Yeah.
But you better not take nothing away from the Celtics.
Right.
When Bill Russell wasn't even embraced by his own city because of his skin tone. I don't want to hear shit about the 60s with the Celtics and all the rings.
Yeah.
Enough. I'm going to leave it alone for now because I'm about to get mad for real and I don't even know who I'm fighting with. NFL schedule release leaks. Eagles versus Packers week 1 in Brazil. Chiefs open against the Ravens in an instant AFC title game rematch. The Cowboys travel to the Dog Pound for Tom Brady's first game as an announcer. The team that retired him would be the team that he covers first. Jets head to Santa Clara, and the Bills hit South Florida. Little caveat to the Jet 49er game. Zappy, let them have it.
Yeah, well, we know Aaron Rodgers and the debut he had last year, Monday Night Football, 9/11, New York Jets, all right, this is the Super Bowl run. And then we get to the fourth play of the game, and we saw Leonard Floyd make a tackle on Aaron Rodgers that unfortunately ended his season with a blown Achilles. The irony of this game is Leonard Floyd now plays for the San Francisco 49ers, and you're talking about that defense.
This is not something that even was in my wheelhouse of thinking. And
I didn't know he's with the 49ers.
Yeah. I mean, I knew they picked him up, but this isn't something that I would think about. And Zappy was like, I'm like, wow, bro, he's really.
You got that Twilight Zone.
Third eye going.
I think it's very interesting that. We're going to give you round 2 Monday night, but this time we're going to do it in your home state against the guy that messed you up playing for the team that you grew up cheering for.
That's right, because as many know, the 49ers
that was
passed
good,
on Aaron Rodgers. That was good. And Aaron Rodgers vehemently promised that they were going to pay, and he never beat them in a playoff game as a member of the Green Bay Packers. And not to mention that this is like the final stanza, so to speak, for Mr. Rodgers, because if he doesn't get it done this year, this is a team that will be laughed at in a big way. Because what is their fallback plan? I love Tyrod Taylor, don't get me wrong. I think he's a quality backup. But what is their future fallback plan? They don't have one right now if Mr. Rodgers goes down. And I'm not saying Tyrod can't come in and win games and still give them a viable chance to win with the defense they have. They are a very good football team, assuming the quarterbacks stay healthy. Tyrod had an issue staying healthy with the Giants over the last couple of years too in limited duty. So we'll see how it plays. I do think the Jets did a nice job of giving the proper love to that O-line. Your Cowboys going to Cleveland's kind of cool. I think it's cool that Cleveland's getting a big-time game in their place to start it off.
I like, what I like about this game? Teams like the Browns are not teams like the Cowboys play all the time. And I like seeing those type of games that, like, cause even as a kid, I was like, I didn't have a hate towards the Cowboys, but I would always like to see like the Cowboys versus the Chiefs or the Cowboys versus the 49ers. Games I just never saw, like, wow. And just, I don't know. Just have my little kid fantasy. Keep going.
I think the more intriguing thing about all these matchups is the quarterbacks that we're going to see in each game, with the Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, with the Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts, with Josh Allen and Tua. So many questions for both quarterback, Aaron Rodgers and Brock Purdy. I think that's the more intriguing thing that the NFL is getting right, is not only are they giving us good matchups, but we're getting the quarterback storylines. Oh, and let's not forget, Robert Saleh used to be the DC for the 49ers to go along with that, And
let's not forget that the 49ers and the Jets were my preseason Super Bowl prediction last year.
Mine too.
And you know what's funny? I knew off the jump that was a wonderful way to jinx the Jets. That's number one.
It worked.
Oh, God.
Not that I hate the Jets. I don't hate the Jets. But shout out to my mama. I got to say one thing. Random show. She came on. We talked about the Martian landing. It was when Dominguez first came into the Yanks.
Yeah.
We spoke on a litany of different topics around the NFL and just topics in the sports world. Super evergreen show. But I had made a mention of the Jets' shaky O-line, and Mom Dukes flat out said, if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, they are finished. And I'm like, 5 plays in, right, boys? 5 plays in?
4.
Yeah, 4. Literally 4 plays.
Yeah. I was like, and as a New Yorker, I was happy they won under the circumstances they did because of the significance of the day. And Buffalo actually is the only team that plays in the state of New York, but it hits differently. It's a different place, and I have respect for that fan base too. But go ahead.
I actually like the transition you did there to New Yorker because, all right, so I'm going to present two things to you guys. You know, I presented a challenge to you guys, and we'll get into that shortly. But I want to go over something that Nick Wright talked about today in regards to the New York Giants. I sent you guys that video earlier. I'm not sure if you watched it or not.
I did not have the opportunity yet.
He actually did have a valid point because, you know, what I see what's going on with Dallas right now and with Dak Prescott, there's a lot of question marks. And to me, I still believe it's going to be a show me, prove it type of year where they might be willing to let him walk the way the Vikings did with Kirk Cousins. But what Nick Wright suggested today was that the New York Giants will be moving on from Daniel Jones and going after not only Bill Belichick, but Dak Prescott, because a lot of people believe that to get Belichick, you need Dak. And that it's a package deal. So I want
Nick Wright is the same dude that said LeBron James is the GOAT and Michael Jordan isn't, right?
Okay, no, right. But
same guy that said
the question is,
I'm not even entertaining this.
Would you take?
I'm going to listen though.
Would you take Dak over Daniel Jones?
No.
No, and I'll tell you why. Sorry, Idris.
No, you good.
I'll tell you why quickly. It's not because Dak's not a better quarterback than Daniel Jones.
Right.
It's that I think Dak brings a new set of problems that you don't necessarily need either. Jones is younger. Jones is more mobile. Let's see what he could do with a top flight receiver now. Let's see what he could do with a revamped O-line and a beefed up defense. I'm not going to sit here and go over the whys and the hows.
You'll still get to see that. You're still going to get to see that this year, no matter what. Because
Dak Prescott will not be the New York Giant. And Nick Wright needs to put the crack pipe down. That is stupid. That is stupid. Nick Wright is a dumbass, bro.
Yeah, you know what? Nick Wright, he's missed on so many things.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. But anyway, and it's no indictment on Dak.
No,
he's a really good quarterback, the best in our division, if I'm being truthful. Mm-hmm. But it's a new set of problems that the Giants don't need. They're trying to possibly get past one already in Daniel Jones, barring a blow-up season. Go ahead, Idris. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
And before you go, Idris, I would say this. Mm-hmm. When you think of Brian Dable and you think of Dak, that's a match made. I will put that point in there.
See, that's what I'm going to get at. I don't know because, see, Dable wants that quarterback who is going to run and take hits. Dak, he can take some hits, but, man, he's 30, man. The age. And you have to chink because, see, Daniel Jones is a running quarterback. Run a lot of RPO, Dak's a better passer. Now you had to switch out because our offensive line is built. Well, you know, he got
Mr. Gallagher, Kettle Black.
Right. Oh, yeah. You have to change it around. If he's wanting to revamp the O-line, because the way he got the O-line built is like Daniel Jones is for that type of offense. You had to switch the offensive line around for Dak. If he did that, that's another year you have to work with. Because you got to get that O-line ready.
I feel like, listen, I have a world of respect for Dak Prescott, the person. Mm-hmm. As a player, I respect him as well. But I don't necessarily think that he's taking his current team or his next team to that next level.
I think he hit his ceiling.
Yes, and I don't necessarily think he's better than the person that he replaced.
No, I don't think. I think if Romo had the teams that Dak has had,
oh yeah,
I think they make a run.
I tend to agree with that. And I'm not trying to shit on Dak. I just think that Dak.
I like Romo. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I like Dak too, but
Troy had limitations. But Troy played on great teams.
So back to the original question: if getting Dak meant you get Belichick, are you taking it? Because I do think you guys are a 5-12
Zappy, I don't divulge in caca. Bill Belichick will never be in the New York Giants organization. You're not getting rid of a guy. You're not getting rid of a guy year 3 of a rebuild for a dude that just went on Netflix and roasted his former quarterback. Bill Belichick may never coach again.
Hey, but he kept it very professional. We will say that.
No, I loved it. I loved every inch of it. It was an awesome show. And it's nostalgia and it's cool. But do I want Bill Belichick making personnel decisions for my franchise? And you think Bill Belichick's going to take a job without that? No. Stay home, Bill.
I need to know who your OCs. What are you going to do? Because, see, we've seen without Brady there, no matter who the OC was, without Brady was the
you might get Dak and you might get Belichick, but it might be in Arlington, Texas. That's where it's going to happen, not in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Because see right there, that offense right there, you run the ball, you throw the ball, and that's Bill. Belichick wants to run the ball.
That's Jerry would give Bill that respect.
He would have
respect that he didn't give to Parcells. The one commonality that Kraft and Jerry might have in this is that they never gave Parcells the power that they would both be willing to give Belichick. Oddly enough, Parcells was a lot more effective in the war room than Bill Belichick could ever be. Just my opinion. Dak
and Belichick could be great. I'm not going to lie. Because Belichick is going to get whatever the other coaches couldn't get out of Dak, he's going to get it out of him.
Bill Belichick's a phenomenal coach. Phenomenal coach. But he had no business being the GM as long as he was.
That's the problem. That was the problem. Some people Mike Hogan did it. After a while, he had to get out of it.
Yeah, it's easy to be the GM when you have a quarterback named Tom Brady. Let's not forget that part.
I've always had. I'll make it quick.
I agree.
I've always had mixed feelings about the whole Brady and Bill crap. I've come to a conclusion that maybe, just maybe, Bill Belichick needed Tom more than Tom needed Bill. But to be fair, Bill Belichick always provided Tom Brady with a top 10 or better defense, and that should not be discounted because when you look at how close all those Super Bowls were that the New England Patriots lost, they won and lost. They say things like, Tom Brady brought them all the way back, which he most certainly did from that 28-3 deficit. But you know what else needed to happen for that to happen? The defense pitched a shutout after getting torched in the first half. Malcolm Butler, great kicking game. And I'm not discrediting Brady. Brady is all of that. All I'm trying to say is that narratives are a real bitch.
Yeah.
Because we all know that number 10, the guy who beat the great one twice, is the only quarterback to win multiple Super Bowls without a top 14 or better defense.
The highest we had was 17. 27-17.
That is indeed correct. And we had a horrible rushing attack. Our defense stepped up in the postseason. I'm not going to deny that. But are we even in the playoffs? We're not for number 10, number 88, number 80. I don't know. But, the defense won. That's another narrative. Yeah. Because the defense didn't help the Patriots win that Super Bowl against the Rams. So, that's useless. That didn't happen.
They could barely score a touchdown. Forgot about that. Oh, yeah.
No, don't show that.
That was for private chats, Abby. You're letting out all our secrets. It's late as fuck.
But I think that match. I think you put those together in Dallas, man. It worked better in Dallas.
Jerry Jones is literally the only person, the only Buffalo maybe if they get sick of McDermott. We're coming up on about the 12-minute mark.
Oh yeah.
Zappy's idea. I don't want to run out of time here. All right.
No, save that. I really want to hone in on that one. So save that one because we're going to have 10 minutes. It's not going to be able to cover 22 positions as well as rebuttals. Save that one. Save it for another episode, and we'll just cover some more of the schedule.
Okay.
That's the way I look at it because we got what?
Yeah, might as well.
10 minutes. Yeah, I say save that one to give you guys a little more time to really put in some input on it.
I raise my hand and take full blame for this because of my toxic nature. I was so mad because it's like,
look, I feel the same way about Boston and anyone up there. My kitchen manager, we just hired him. He's from Boston. We already got into it.
Listen, Boston has some great fans. I'm going to say this right now. I got no bad for the Bruin fans.
I do. Yeah, not a Bruin fan now.
They're original 16.
Yeah.
Listen, the Celtics are literally the Yankees of basketball. Take it as you will. That's a compliment.
Yeah.
But those Red Sox and those Patriots and all that caca about all the stuff they've won, I have no tolerance for it because it's like you're ignoring history to fit a narrative. Sorry.
Hey, no, and since we're talking about Boston, obviously they extended the series, but hands out, the Edmonton Oilers, they were able to extend their series. But what I want to send a shout out to is two specific individuals. One of them was a very, very big hyped individual in college, was drafted number 1 in this person's respective draft. And this person got to have their display today. Caitlin Clark. Shout out to Caitlin Clark tonight at her first game with the Indiana Fever. They go into Connecticut, and I mean, the Sun, hey, welcome to the WNBA, Caitlin. But she still managed to get 20 points down on them. But
so Indiana got the dub?
No, Connecticut got the dub. But what's not being really talked about enough in regards to the game tonight was the triple-double that was dropped down by Miss Thomas, Alyssa Thomas, I believe is her name. She put that only 13 points, but still got a triple-double out of it. And I gotta send a shout out to WNBA because of the fact that while they're getting more exposure, but Caitlin Clark to have her first game today and still she went quiet in the first quarter, went quiet at halftime, and still was able to wake up in the second half and put on a display for the fans when everyone is signing up to go see. So that's all I wanted to mention about that girl.
Yeah, I got to go with Caitlin Clark. All I ask the WNBA to do, don't mess up what she's doing. Don't push no agenda. Don't do. Because
organically,
a star. Mm-hmm. She's gonna be a star.
They try to push Momo down everybody's throats, and it backfired.
Yeah, don't let it happen again.
At the league's inception,
you got Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. I can't pronounce. What's her name?
They're in a good place.
You gotta be in a good place
because you got Reese and Clark. It's similar to Bird and Magic. The collegiate rivalry.
Next year.
This is the WNBA.
No. Hold on. No. Angel Reese and Kayla Clark are not on the same team.
No.
For WNBA. Okay, gotcha. I apologize.
These girls, you can see Caitlin Clark. What she did in college is going to translate.
Right.
First game. I mean, she went through the little, training and all that, blah blah blah. But you're in front of the real crowd, the guys who are paying the big money. Let's see this girl ball. Nervous, but she got 20 points. I mean, this girl.
I just love the fact that these two want neck for each other's necks in the NCAA tournament over the last couple of, last year we all know about that and just how it's built up and their two personas as players, similar to Bird and Magic. Now they're clashing in the pros. This is good stuff.
And also, this goes out to the Black community. I'm an Angel Reese fan, LSU all day, all night, ever since 1979.
I'm an Angel Reese fan too, and I've got a damn thing to do with basketball.
And she's a star. But they said, why is Caitlin Clark getting all this? Because Caitlin Clark is the one last year who was lighting up the college basketball. Like, well, who is this chick? Dropping from 50 yards, half court. So she's the bigger star. That's not to knock Angel Reese, but they want to see what Caitlin Clark's going to do. Can she do what she did in college in the pros?
Oddly enough,
35.
Oddly enough, I think a reasonable point could be made that while in the NBA, as great as Larry Bird was, Magic Johnson just kind of superseded him.
Yeah.
I believe that you could also make the case that when this rivalry was born, Caitlin Clark was a little more ahead of where Angel Reese is.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that at the pro level, Angel Reese might not take that next step. But one thing, it's a good problem to have for the WNBA in terms of figuring out who your face is going to be. Because like I said it already, you just got to go organically because people are invested. When your women's tournament collegiately beats the men's tournament, that is massive for women's basketball.
Their college basketball is basically promoting the WNBA.
Absolutely.
They had basically, here you go. Here's the ball. Here's the baton. Run with it. Don't mess it up. You got Reese. You got Clark. You got Magic and Johnson. You got Bird. You can say you got Bird and Dr. J. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. And similar to the way that it was pitched, it wasn't even pitched. People just felt it. You had the dude from French Lick. You had the kid from East Lansing. It has very similar pull. Very similar pull. I think the only difference is that these young women don't really have a bad bone for each other. When Magic and Bird first came into the league, there was a lot of dislike and a lot of, I guess you could call it like the great unknown between one another.
Yeah.
But I think being forced to shoot that commercial for Converse and having absolutely no choice but to really talk to each other, I think that's what elevated not only them as ball players and what would drive the league and save the NBA. I also think it drove them forward as human beings and as people.
Two things. They just better not mess this up, man.
I hope they don't.
Don't go political. Leave the politics out of it. You're building your brand. Don't try to compete with the men.
You can't be everywhere at once.
Players from saying stuff
you can't be everywhere at once.
And the one chick from last year, why I don't really root for the New York Liberty House, she said, we're running things in that other team's house. She was dissing the nail. Hold it. How you going to diss the Knicks? And you play in the Knicks building.
Yeah, that's ignorant. Very ignorant. Absolutely. Especially when the only reason why your league is even in existence is because the big league has funded you despite not really turning a healthy profit. The profits will change though if they play their cards right.
Just leave it alone. Let these girls build a league.
Absolutely. Let them organically grow and people are going to watch. You just watch.
Let them play.
I have one more question for you, gentlemen.
Yeah, sure.
Did Bronny James just become the number one pick in the 2024 NBA draft?
Potentially, if Atlanta desires employing LeBron James.
I agree.
Idris?
Somewhere along them lines.
It blows my mind that I mean, I guess this is how weak this year's draft is, that you're like, you know what? Yeah, we won the lottery. Let's go ahead and just take it on Bronny to get LeBron over here for a year or two. This is an NBA thing, man. This is an NBA thing. Because everyone knows this boy is not ready for the NBA.
I mean, it's a cool story, similar to Griffey and his father. Ken.
But you know the thing about Griffey, Ken Griffey Jr., he worked his way.
Yeah, he earned his keep. Yeah, no question. Prettiest swing in the history of baseball, as far as I'm concerned.
I know he had the heart attack and came back, but
that
kid's not ready to play.
Yeah, it's a little scary. And you know what I don't like?
He's only 6'1". They say he's putting out 6'4". He's only 6'1".
I think there's a lot of hype train behind him, and I think it's unfair to the young man because it's like that's a massive, massive cloud and shadow that follows you when your father is potentially the best player of this generation. This past generation. Not to mention, you look at Jordan's kids. You look at Patrick Ewing Jr. I think Patrick Ewing Jr. just having the opportunity to play in the NBA is pretty damn impressive. You had the Jordan boys, playing at UCF.
But Bronny's not ready, dude. He's not ready.
He's not ready. But like I said, it's a
package. But it's a hype thing.
And it might be a lot of caca, but the thing is like, I think to answer Zap's question, it all is predicated off of what do they want to do with LeBron James, and also, wait a minute, this is Trae Young. What are they doing? Getting the one pick? I know Landry Fields had to be smiling ear to ear because of the improbable nature of drawing that pick. But we all know how that goes too. Penny and Shaq back-to-back years. Exactly. Patrick Ewing to New York.
Yep.
hey.
I don't know, man. I wish the kid luck.
Of course.
Whoever drafts him and brings the LeBronians with him, all I have to say is the team is not trying to win. They're just trying to sell tickets. Because right now, even with the Lakers, if LeBron stay, you bring in Bronny, somebody's gonna lose a roster spot.
And on one parting shot to the truth, just can't seem to tell the truth, or has a bad recollection of history. No, not a LeBron fan here, but LeBron James put it on your asses when he was a member of the Miami Heat.
Oh,
this might be one of the. No, I'm saying. I'm talking about like we always take little fun shots at LeBron.
Oh yeah.
So I also, this is one of those rarities where I'm gonna be like, you know what, LeBron put it on you guys though. Crying about Ray Allen, bro. I am so sorry if we squandered a couple of minutes here and there. I will take full blame. But bro, when I tell you that my ears were like just smoke coming out, literal smoke, and it's not about a fan base and rivals, because if I've done anything since I've taken this show over and rebranded, I think that I've proven that I'm a pretty gracious loser. I think I take my L's like a man, for the most part. I think I do that. I'd like to think I do that. And I just got no tolerance for that shit. It's like, bro, you can't just be here and then not be there. Nah. Get out of here with that shit.
Go on, man. Just look at it this way. They got Mac Jones 2.0 in the camp now.
Ooh, I have a little more respect for May. That will be revealed. Zappy, anything you want to say on the way out?
We are, tomorrow night, boys. We're going to know.
Oh, yeah, we're going to know.
Or not even tomorrow night, tonight. We are going to know.
And to answer Joe Gallagher's question, no, we don't sleep, man. It's a legitimate commitment, and I appreciate both of you for this, really, because I can't speak for everybody. I am tired. But, man, it's that good tired tomorrow when you wake up, if that makes any sense. It's that good tired.
I'm going to be watching the clock all day, and I'm going to be looking on X, looking on everything, looking for every possible leak and being on top of it. I mean, I am looking forward to it. I don't want to see it at Pittsburgh game in December. It's probably going to happen, so.
Good possibility that could be on the Christmas slate, because that's an iconic rivalry that has spanned different Super Bowl eras.
Yep.
For Zappy and for Mr. Idris Salam, I'm your host, Richie. It's been nothing short of a pleasure bringing you the show tonight. Boys, excellent job. Really just keeping up some boss-ass energy after a pretty draining day for all three of us. Just like, yeah. And two, that's enough. I think I made my point. We out.
Skate.